I can already tell you this is potentially very cool. OpenAI has released GPT 5.6, and this is a really exciting drop for a number of reasons, about 3 in specific. Now, the reason I say that is because this is not a singular model release. Rather, this is a trio of models that have been dropped under the GPT 5.6 name. There's 3 separate models here, each with their own cost and capability, likely something that will fit all sizes of user. Now, I'm not actually kidding there, but I was exaggerating a bit. So before we get into it, please do feel free to subscribe if you want to see the best AI testing channel videos on the YouTube. I have no idea what I just said. I am excited. Additionally to that, let's just start out by getting familiarized, because in addition to just GPT 5.6, this is introducing a new nomenclature for these models. So I'm personally not yet familiar with this, and I would imagine a lot of folks are not either. So let's just get familiarized with the 3 new models that have been released here. So first off, we have the new flagship variant, and that is called Soul. Next up, we have, as they say right here, a balanced model for everyday work, which is called Terra. And then finally, Luna, our most cost-efficient model. Now, I may not go over this super intricately in this introduction. However, for folks interested, they do have a nice breakdown of specific, like who can access which specific one of these models and things like that, just down here in this blog post. So for folks interested in specific access and things like that, you can find that information down here. Now, additionally to this, there is something that I want to prominently mention here that I noticed when looking through these benchmarks. Now, I personally don't pay as much mind to benchmark numbers. However, they have been showing this in a really interesting way just throughout a couple of these, and that is the cost to run any one of these tasks that we see right here. So let's take this first one for example. I'm not even going to pay attention to what the actual benchmark itself is measuring in terms of capability. Rather, I want to pay attention to the fact that these models are running this task at equal to or greater than performance to the competition, which we see right here as Opus 4.8. And they're significantly cheaper. And that's exciting to see, because this is 5.6 Soul, which is the Frontier, the largest, new, most performant version of 5.6. They also have Luna and Terra here, which are even cheaper. So if these models are going to match, or maybe not even match, but get close to the performance of something like Fable 5, but at significantly less cost, that is very, very exciting. And token efficiency was something that GPT 5.5 had a massive increase over GPT 5.4 in. It was far more token efficient to use, which therefore translates to being more cost efficient as well. And it seems like 5.6 over 5.5 is just kind of continuing that trend, which for the end user who has to pay for these things out of pocket is a very good thing. They also do have another one right here where cost is shown. Now, this is where it gets a bit expensive, where we have 5.6 Soul on max effort level. It is expensive, but this one separate square over here to the right is Claude Fable 5 on max effort. And we can see there's a fairly significant gap in the pricing of these. And still, even for this capability leap over Opus 4.8, which I would imagine, I won't say it's long in the tooth, but I don't know that the 5.6 family of models is directly comparable to Opus 4.8 in terms of generations. Now, in terms of pricing, they do just showcase the pricing in the traditional per million tokens right here. Soul, which is the largest and most performant, is listed as $5 in, 30 out per million tokens. Terra, which is the middle ground capability model, is $2.50 in and 15 out, so half that price. And then Luna is $1 in and $6 out. So not quite a half, a little more than a half cheaper than Terra. Now, they do mention right here for Pro and Enterprise users, you can also select GPT 5.6 Soul Pro for the highest quality results on complex tasks. I don't, just looking at this, see that that would be billed as an additional tier, because GPT 5.5 Pro was significantly more expensive to use just in terms of API cost than the non-Pro GPT 5.5. So it is possible it just would use more tokens, therefore you'd end up spending more, but that's something, again, just to maybe keep an eye on. And really with that, there's just some more intricate, in-depth benchmarks there. I did kind of get a little angry, and this leads us into our first test, which I have already run. This is, of course, the Browser OS test v2.5. I ran this with GPT 5.6 Soul on max effort mode, and I ended up running this through Cursor because for some reason the model was accessible first through Cursor, not through any of OpenAI's apps or the Pro subscription or anything. So the first way I was able to use this was through Cursor, which may have prompted an angry tweet from my end. But nonetheless, we do have our single file browser OS, and let's take a peek at it. Welcome to Nova OS. I'm like 80% certain we did just get that as well for the Grok 4.5 video, and among other models, they all seem to like that. This is actually quite all right. It's very unique. It does have the date and time centrally located here. Now for the big test. Is there a right click? Okay, there is a right click. Enter orbit view. I would imagine that's our special feature, so we'll hold off on that for now. This has a very good looking Mac OS style dock right here. Additionally to that, it also has like a top menu bar, which isn't something I see very commonly. Look at that. Wi-Fi, sound adjustment, wallpaper, personalized focus. Sound Lab is ready. Open it to make something. Interesting. This is like tailored specifically to my liking. Search apps and actions, Control K. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's just start out by running through the app, starting with the GTA clone. I can already tell you this is potentially very cool. Oh, okay. I really hope that it's just drawn the car like slightly behind a building. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, good. That was like, all right. It's weird. This is... Okay, there are mesh colliders on the building. In the top right, the mini-map's not bad. It does properly show the grid. Okay, we do have the ability to enter and exit the car. There's the popo. We didn't do anything, so I don't know why they're after us. Perhaps they're just regular traffic. I will say, though, 160 kilometers per hour is right around 100 miles an hour. This looks a bit slow for that, but I don't know. Okay, let's get out of our car. Nice. All right, it's not bad. Make your own determination on that one. I don't want to spend too much time on this because we have a lot of really cool tests to run. So, okay, now something I noticed is I can't click on the other app right here. Now, we didn't actually try opening the apps that way before, so it is possible these icons aren't working. Nonetheless, we do have the menu bar as well. Vector run. This looks cool. Okay, signal lost. I have to say, I do like the way the text is drawn here. I'm excited to do front-end testing as well. Next up, notes. Basically, I want to... Oh, this is nice. This is very Mac OS inspired. I want to see if I can save one of these to a text file. All right, no, but it looks good. Can we like minimize and reopen? Yeah, we can. And look at the way like this all pops back in. That's nice. Paint. Okay, there's always a big test with paint, which is when we drag and resize, the canvas usually won't scale with the resized window. In this, it does, and I'm very happy about that. Nova canvas.png. I like that. All right, calculator. Everything looks good. Quick math. I am the quick math. 84 times 7, 588. Yeah, he's on. Sound Lab. This was made for me. Someone knew. They seeded this prompt. They're like, if this person runs this test, you put in this piano, and he will give it insane in the title. I should make sure it works. Let me turn the speaker on. I have a bad habit of like just totally eating my words. All right. Yeah, it works. Right. Square. That's what it's going to sound like, more or less. And it's actually, it will autoplay because it's a sequencer. This is nice. Oddly, the only time I've ever seen anything musical like that included in one of these results at a decent level was the Gemini 3.5 Flash result. So it's interesting to see that as well. We also have our settings. Okay. Horizon. Hey, that one was kind of cool. Oh, maybe not. We have selectable accent colors as well. Okay, and we can see those reflected around the selection for the specific wallpaper. I do like the lime green. The orange hue it shows is not abhorrent, which is a step up for most oranges that I sadly see. Here's our Arduino rendered GPU testing for the custom image capability, which does work. Gloss intensity, something that would be nice to be included on a Mac. Orbit view, arrows to choose a window. Desktop with another dimension. This card right here looks good. Try orbit view. Okay, and we use arrow keys to... All right, and then enter will be to enter one of these. Watch, I'm going to guess what app we get in. Maze thing. Calculator. Good. All right. Overall, this was a very, very competent result. The inclusion of the nice keyboard thing was a welcome surprise. The GTA game could have been better, but you know, more or less, we'll be trying some more intricate prompts. So I wanted to just do this as a nice ode to the tests of the past. Now, something quickly to mention is that the calculator icon right here, historically in all of the old-fashioned browser OS tests, was actually an Abacus icon, which brings me into today's sponsor, and that is Chat LLM by Abacus AI, who were kind enough to sponsor this video and allow me to continue doing testing at a very in-depth and intricate rate. Now, for those who want to test a bunch of different models, as we do on the channel, without having to wrangle a bunch of different subscriptions, Chat LLM will come in handy for you, because if we take a look at this right here, and I'm being a little more like eccentric on purpose, but truthfully, you can access all of these models from just one plan. Additionally to that, look, they're already updated, so Sol, Terra, and Luna are right there. I arguably would have been able to access this sooner than I could have actually when OpenAI got around to releasing it. They do also have Fable 5 and a bunch of other models, including open weight ones that are very popular, that are not necessarily as realistically self-hostable, so if you want to use them, you still have to rely on someone else. They also do have some image generation models, and there's a bunch of accessible tools just from this one subscription for Chat LLM from abacus.ai. Now, honestly, basically, I could end the mid-roll there, but I want to do something a little more immersive, so I'm going to give a couple of screenshots to ChatGPT 5.6 Terra on high mode right here, just of the Abacus AI screen, and I'm going to ask it, okay, I want you to create me a little mid-roll kind of animated SVG test with this, along with maybe some visual wow and things of the sort, and we'll see how this newly updated work interface on chatgpt.com with 5.6 Terra High is actually capable of working. All right, our mid-roll asset has been generated, downloaded, and extracted, so quick AI reality check. One model doesn't fit every task. Chat LLM from Abacus AI puts 100 plus leading models in one place. Image and video tools, powerful agents too. Build, research, create, no tab hopping. Try it now at chatllm.abacus.ai. Okay, now it did pull in some assets that I told it to by searching just for me. It took the image from my website, and I do believe there was an additional photo there of myself from YouTube. Don't quote me on that. Bijambo and AI deep dives. Okay, I would say, just in terms of like actual QOL here for how it did with the pacing and everything, it was a bit fast, but I always like to do something a little, like involve the model in the mid-roll. All right, so now, unfortunately, I need to swap computers because the rest of this test is going to likely be done on some form of Mac because the newly updated app just supports Mac the best. So I'm going to swap to a Mac system, and if you notice that it looks different, that is the reasoning for that. All right, so my next task was an Apple Vision Pro app. I basically gave it a really simple prompt saying, make a Vision Pro app that is a virtual drum kit. I want to be able to hit the drums with my hands and play them in mixed reality. The AVP is connected to the machine and the dev tools are installed. It started out and gave us this, which was basically just kind of like a 2D thing. It wasn't necessarily what I had envisioned. I wanted something 3D, so I told it that I want a 3D photorealistic kit, not some on-screen 2D. So apparently this is running now in the Vision Pro. I have no idea. I have not looked at it yet. The external battery on this device is, you know, somewhat of a decision was made. All right, so it even put an actual like app icon for this. So let's just see. Okay, we have sensitivity. We have kit height. Let's just... Okay, that is getting insane in the title. Don't tell me I can... Can I? Okay, so you can... I'm going to destroy everything in sight. This is nuts. This is really... If someone walked up here right now, they'd be like, I'm honestly dumbfounded by this. I did not at all expect this level of quality. This is, God honest, like, this is more or less how a drum kit is to sit in front of. I mean, I have been known to play in the past. I mean, like, okay, that's probably not there. I mean, I want to try like different styles of tests like this as the models become more capable. This is insane. There's not much else to say about this. This was very, very incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. Look at this. All right, well, that's insane. All right, that was really exceeds expectations to a very, very high degree. I've been trying to use GPT-5.6 and Codex to do some Apple Vision Pro stuff, and this was like in a different galaxy as that. So very cool. All right, next up, we're going to do the self-contained C++ skateboard sim. I should mention that this is on Ultra mode. Very similar looking aesthetic to Ultra Code, but if it's cheaper and it works almost as well, I'm happy with it. So we're giving this the self-contained C++ skateboarding test. This is the retro California boardwalk aesthetic, and we're just going to allow it to get to work because I have another test that I want to see how this does, but I need to find a 12-volt power supply. So the C++ skate game is still going on, but we do also have some active sub-agents right here, which we can just see in the side if we click on them. If I close this, you will be able to see that is an option right there for the sub-agents we have. It is currently on step 2 of 4, and I'm running this on like the highest level that I'm able to access right here. I was distracted. Oh, this is going to be a tough one because I don't know if this will beat out Fable 5, but the storefronts are so good. This is ask the audience. All right, well, good. We have some lean effects on our player. Okay, there is inversion. So I'm hitting A right now, which would generally be thought of as left, and that makes us go right. I also noticed the storefront video zone. It is inverted, but double kickflip. I love the neon. Like, this definitely stylistically adhered to the 90s California boardwalk aesthetic. Now, I will say it's a bit harder to control than I would have hoped it would be. C and V is to front flip or back flip, and we do have bail logic as well. F is for camera, so we have adjustable camera views as well. H is for the heads-up display, so we can toggle that on or off. Look at the volleyball net on that beach. That's cool. I've not seen that before, as well as the sun up there in the corner, or would we call that the soul? No, I'm kidding. So it's still QA testing this, so I won't make the same mistake I did last time where I started playing it and was like, this is kind of odd to use. No wonder, because it was autonomously trying to test it. Okay, so it's testing tricks right here. We can just get a look at it. We'll see if it's able to figure out and fix the inverted text or the flipped text in the storefront. Surf Shack. Okay, good. It did. It flipped the storefront text. They're still kind of wonky in terms of where they're placed, but it did do that. So I'm happy to see that because that was one thing that was kind of knocking it. I do wonder if the left and right has been fixed as well. It's still like it's running it itself, but nope. Okay, so that's still inverted, at least for now, but we can play it a little. If anything odd occurs, it's because it's also trying to do some testing now, but I think it's probably more focused on just delivering the final result. So these storefronts look really good. Board shop. I very much like the aesthetic of this, and even things like that umbrella right there. We have the lifeguard stand. We have a volleyball net. These are like nice. All these people do look like they've just graduated, but these are nice attention to detail bits, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Speed, I don't know that we would be going 42 miles an hour here, and I don't know how to snap onto a rail. It seems like that's rather difficult to do, unless I've mistakenly been assuming those are rails. All right, this next test is going to be significantly more difficult, and I am going to start it right now, and then I'll explain a bit about what's going on. So in my hand right here is something called an Intel web tablet. I don't specifically remember what year this is from, but I think it was early 2000s, and this was not actually ever released publicly. So on the back of this, it says demo unit, not for resale. And the whole problem with this, I don't know how visible the screen on it will be if I put it right there. Essentially, this will never connect or allow me to do anything with it beyond just seeing like a screen saying it's having connection issues because unfortunately, and I'll put that down for a little, the base station that it comes with, which I do actually have as well, there's no drivers for it. I don't have any instruction on how this would have worked. So I've given GPT a photo of the bottom of the base station as well as the name of the Intel web tablet, and I'm telling it that the base station's plugged into this computer. get it working so I can use the tablet. This will be, in my opinion, a bit difficult. The original product guide confirms an important constraint. The complete tablet software officially supports only Windows 98 SE or ME, not modern Windows or Mac OS. I'm checking whether the actual setup CD has been preserved and whether this Mac can run an x86 virtual machine with reliable USB pass-through. The standalone Anypoint driver alone would not provide the tablet's PC services. All right, cool. Now we're getting a little bit more excitement. The adapter itself is electrically alive and correctly enumerates as this address at USB 1.1. The failure is exactly the missing class vendor driver, not a dead cable. The M4 Mac has no legacy VM software installed, so I'm adding UTM's QEMU-based emulator, the viable route for running the required x86 Windows stack and passing the real USB device through. This is exactly what I want, is the display of ability to work around roadblocks and try to find solutions for them. Doing something here. Now, this should be able to automatically go through this installation process itself. It has the capability of using the computer. I don't know if it's going to, so I'll just move this over to the side and we'll see if it tells us to do anything. Intel Web Tablet Host. I see something has popped up there in the left-hand side pane. Okay, that I have to attend to because it's a permission thing. I'm going to just click continue and then I'm going to close. Intel Web Tablet Host. Install a licensed Windows 98 SE or Windows ME image, then mount Anypoint ISO and pass through the Intel Home RF adapter. Oh, I don't have those. Oh, all right. Well, all right. I want to see what its thought process is here. I've built and launched a dedicated legacy PC virtual machine and verified the virtual USB stack does work. The remaining dependency is the guest OS and Intel's PC side software. I'm testing a legal open source NT-compatible guest first while continuing to look for the rare tablet-specific setup CD. I don't think it will find that. All right, so I'm telling it there's no hope of finding the original installation media. We have the base station, we have the tablet. The network code from the tablet is just 8 ones. There is a way to get them to communicate, even if you have to create the Mac driver for the base station, do it. So now we're going to just basically throw out all of the hope of trying to find an original installation media or driver and just brute force write it yourself. I don't know if this will work, but it is something I want to try. Extracting driver files and planning disassembly. Okay. You write to push back. The network code removes the pairing mystery. The missing piece is the USB to home RF protocol. I'll build this as a user space Mac OS driver first, claim the adapter with this, reproduce the initialization and control sequence, expose a virtual network interface, then join network code 11 blah, blah, blah. This avoids Apple's kernel extension signing barrier while giving the tablet a real network path. It is so frustrating that this app is not available for Linux, I'm pretty sure, because this would be so much easier to just have this plugged into my Linux computer and not have to worry about Mac OS specific workarounds. It is just kind of inhibiting this being used for like real hardcore stuff like this, and I would like to see some Linux support from this specific app. All right, so we had definitely reached the point of needing to move off of Mac OS for the driver test, and I'm essentially having the agent here that was running in the Mac that we just saw working with for quite a long time. I'm having it make a little handoff zip file for a Linux agent. It's going to be the same model, just through the Codex CLI app on Linux, and that's going to instruct it or tell it where to start to hopefully finish and knock out this driver test. All right, it's giving me a command here to rerun in terms of trying to get the wireless adapter working. The adapter just went green and now it's blinking green. I've never seen it do that ever. It usually just blinks yellow or just a static yellow. So that's a good sign in and of itself because it means this adapter is happy. Now, whether or not that's going to translate over to the tablet, I don't 100% know. I do recall this does have a extendable antenna that you know, it's old. We'll just put that up anyway. We'll slide this back on. That's okay. That happens. And then, all right. I'm going to just tap it. I understand it's probably going to be difficult to see. That's okay. The purpose is basically we'll see if this works or not. All right. It's turning back on. There goes the antenna. That's all right. It's just a cosmetic piece. Intel, welcome, web tablet. Starting up. Please wait. I hope it's at least somewhat visible. I'm going to hold it to the camera more so it's visible. I'm going to press that. Okay, I heard a sound. Logging in. No, okay, it always does this. And then when you select one of the buttons, it's when it has this trouble connection. Interesting. The capture shows why the tablet UI may still be showing not connected. It's broadcasting a proprietary Intel Discovery packet over UDP every few seconds. I'm separating the immediate IP fix from that legacy service requirement so the setup script won't claim success prematurely. We have an updated plan right here. I want to make sure that the plan includes actually doing something with that proprietary thing that it's broadcasting, because that may get it to snap out of that screen that it's on where it can't. I've probably spent way too much time on this, but I really want to do a proper test, something that is impossible to have been pre-trained on, or else we would have had the tablet working by now. All right, it's going back to searching again. I don't want it to, so I'm going to tell it, I selected no and tell it what to do differently. And networking contacts who may retain the setup disk. Okay, I can definitely see what folks were talking about when they say this thing just tries to achieve a goal. Like, it will go hard at trying to accomplish something. I'm going to pause it. So I'm telling it, stop searching the web. You're not going to find anything. This is not a super high-tech algorithm that we're trying to crack. It's a tablet, and we have pertinent information enough about the communication that's going on that we should be able to find some more information, or at least get the tablet to do something. And we'll see what it says to that. You're right. The green base station plus 4 out of 4 successful pings proves the radio, USB, Ethernet, and IPv4 path are solved. The remaining message is a small local discovery handshake, so I'm stopping the archive hunt and working only from the live tablet packets and controlled replies. Okay. All right, so we just got context compacted, and then it basically responded to my query from 20 minutes ago saying agreed. All right, sadly, I'm going to give up on this tablet test for now. It's just not 100% there, but it's made huge progress. So just even the fact that the base station is happy now and it never was before, as indicated by the light, that is cool. So I'd started the beautiful front end for Slapus Watch Company test when we were working through the driver fiasco. It made it, and then the live preview connection went away. Okay, that's fine. But it didn't actually put the file in the outputs here, and I said, show me the site, and now there's 4 subagents working right here. I am not enjoying my experience with this new ChatGPT interface of work. All right, so from within cursor, I am giving this the prompt for the city timeline over a number of different years. It must show us individually the city in these years with elements that would be expected to be seen, as well as a nice transposition between the arrows when we do select them. I'm just back here using this from within cursor. And this is still just spinning out here online for something that should just be contained in the output section here. All right, I'm going to try as well. We are running requests simultaneously from within cursor. From within this work site, I'm going to try the 3D skydiving simulator as well. All right, I have some feedback. This work tab here in the web chat, I'm not a fan of this. This is honestly highly confusing, and it's brand new, so we'll excuse that. What I'm seeing here in this cloud browser is, unless that's like a stock photo it put in there to catfish me, in which case I would be enraged. This looks insanely good. Now, the problem with this cloud browser is I can't use it. This is designed seemingly for this to be able to QA check stuff, and there's no, like, it's just not spitting out the files at all anywhere. Like, we don't have any outputs yet, and this will expire. So if you go back to this, say in like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it's just been sitting here, it won't let you preview it. That looks pretty good. So from within cursor on 5.6 Soul in max effort mode, we do have what appears to be a pretty good looking city result. Let me turn the speaker on. This is 2025, the living city. This is also the version of the test that goes to 2055. We'll see how this feels about the future. All right, so here's 2055. The buildings do look very good. City recharged. Are there any solar panels on the roofs? Yes, there are. As you do these tests, you learn more and more like what to look for immediately. There are pedestrians. They are walking. We have frame, field, repair, and reuse. I don't know why I said repair that way. This is an odd tree with the light pole coming out of it, but it's possible that is a photosynthesis-driven light pole. Also, okay, let's look at the cars. They do have LED strips in the front, and overall, this is a very clean scene. The bus is well done. It's focused on this one small block pretty prominently. So what I would like to do, archive. What does, oh, okay. The UI elements are definitely showing a bit of differentiation between this and GPT-5.5, which is nice to see. We have individual static views, overview, okay. And I don't know specifically because we're using it through cursor. This may not be like full max effort, but look at that. That was kind of cool. It's overall rather similar, but there does seem to be a streetcar there as the pole for the electricity would denote. Okay, we have selectable options and tooltips, street portrait. Okay, and that just gives us information about like the folks walking around and what form of specific outfits they'd be wearing and things like this. The Calvert building, the Astor. Okay, I do like this UI very much. Just in terms of these cards, Jet Age Confidence, that looks good. The cars are a bit happier. Do they have fins? Most normally do. All right, it's gone kind of simpler with the car models, but they're not bad. They're just almost like, they look like those. There were some like wooden toy cars, and these look very similar to them. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Okay, now we have Continental Tower here. The street lights have changed to kind of showcase the mood as well. Let's run through now to 1985. All right, look at that. It changed the card as well to more like synthwave, electric grit, video palace. All right, the folks are in definitely more vibrant and flamboyant colors, which one would expect. Neon Dragon. Oh, look at this guy in the all blue suit. I mean, I would wear something like that personally, so I am not talking smack. We have a pink bus, crosstown bus, Metro Annex, and simple walking animations and things like that. All right, 2005. This should be like bland corporate urban reset. Okay, we do have some solar panels on the roof in 2005. That's interesting. The vehicles are more toned down. Everything here, color scheme wise, is toned down a bit more. There are, I don't know what those are, but we have Metro map there. Someone just disappeared, which was interesting. Bus, pedestrians. All right, 2025, which we did get a quick peek at when we first looked at this. I did like the transition. Check this out. So between 2005, watch the way the buildings look when we go from 2005 to 2025. That's, the transitions are done nicely, I will say. And then finally, let's look 30 years into the future, 29 years into the future. Remember tomorrow. All right, this is cool. There is a large amount of hovering machines. Are there humanoid robots? I can't tell. These just look like people with AR or VR headsets on them. This is definitely autonomous street pod. It seems more bullish on the future than Fable 5 was, which I guess is good. Maglev, neighborhood link. The trees are still there, but they're surrounded in neon. It has a, look at the the lines in the road are also neon. That's kind of sick. I would like that. That'd be really cool at night, imagine. All right, overall, and because, again, remember, we ran this from within cursor, so still, though, we did use the Sol on max or whatever. It was visible during the test. It's not as good as I would have hoped in terms of the fine-grained detail. I've seen comparable results from less potent models, though, again, it's definitely competent, and the transitions between the time periods were excellent. Like that we just saw when I hit the arrow right here, and it's actually counting the years up. Like, that was very good. So the elements that are good are basically like when you zoom out and look at it this way, the transitions are good. The individual fine-grained detail was not as impressive as I would have hoped it would be. All right, we did also do a skydiving simulator. It's just apologized. Sign-in required. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, no, don't. I just want to look at the... I just want to look at the result. This online work tab app has genuinely been one of the poorest user experiences I've seen in a new model release, period. I get that it's a new feature and I respect that there can be bugs and glitches and things like this, but genuinely look at this conversation history. I just asked for the skydiving simulator and then it did things. I said, please, for the love of God, just give me the files. It gave me the source files, which included a lot of things that would only be necessary for it to show itself in this as a preview. I said, this is the single worst experience with a model I've ever had. I can't view the site, there's no rhyme or reason to what's being done here, and I'm left confused with a bunch of files that include elements designed to show the work in here. Then it said, you were right to call that out, I'm sorry. And I can't, I can't view this without logging in. If I click preview, it's giving me an unexpected server error. I get that this is a new feature online. Can I just view it in a... Can I just view it in an artifact? All right, let's close our driver thing. But it's going to remake it. I'm done. Interesting. This is its new UI style right here, and it's better. It looks like a protein shake website aesthetic. Make of that what you will. Nice. Okay, we are going headfirst vertical. There is no plane, but the good thing is the terrain is quite good. We have our heading. We do have some slight wind speed effects. Airspeed 220 kilometers per hour. Tactical map. All right, and that shows, doesn't seem to be doing anything now. W and S to try to kind of move around. Okay, A and D is to steer. Q and E is for trim. That would be when we have the parachute out. C, helmet camera. Okay, I mean, I guess. Look at the sunlight in the sky. Oh, helmet camera and chase camera. And P is for, pause. Okay. Space is to parachute. Now, of course, as a first try, we just like to see, is it going to auto-deploy? So the Anthropic models will auto-deploy. Disgusting. All right, well, there's our parachute from the helmet camera. That's cool. It's been a long day testing this model. Nice. Hard impact, F. Okay, and we get a score. For some reason, all of the models implement some form of scoring in this test. It's not specifically said they should do that. So I also did a zombie FPS subway result while we're just waiting for the driver thing. And at some point, I'll have to decide to call that if it's not done by X time, which I don't like doing, but it's, So GPT-5.6 Sol on high. All right, run the source project. Okay, yeah, something's not right. There we go. This was done through the web chat interface with Sol. This so far looks quite good. Are there... If you watch the channel, thank you, and you know exactly why I'm going to be angry right now. All right, this is... I can't actually adjust the brightness without... That's a little frustrating. Nonetheless, oh wow. These things are... Cinder Street. Oh, reload. Look at that. Oh, all right. This is very clean and sterile. We can run. All the materials are nice and shiny and, as I said, sterile. The reflective properties of the weapon are quite nice, if I do say so. Sleep later. It even has, signs that are, I've been at this for longer than I expected to be. Reload. Nice. All right, not bad. Is that a water spot? It has to be. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's an interesting touch. All right, not bad. We have our beautiful front-end website. This was 5.6 Sol on extra high, so one step down from Pro. And it's going to show it to us in this preview, which, to be honest with you, I'm for it at this point. Let's just full screen it and take a look. Okay, now this is interesting because I've received a better result from this, than this from a GPT model, which was supposedly GPT-5.5 before. And that's so odd. So, okay, we do have an inverted face right there. The table that it's placed on is not bad. The band does have different coloring, and I just realized the face is inverted, so it's going counterclockwise, but that's just okay. A watch should not simply mark a moment, it should give the moment weight. 38.5 millimeters, 68 hours automatic power reserve, 10 ATM. Okay, these aren't bad. Really, again, the big issue is the inversion and counterclockwise of the face. But we have a leather strap option and then the obsidian, which is the metal strap option. They both do have some little glass effect over the face. $34.50 and $29.50. So this is a cheaper luxury watch company. This looks good right here. Numbered production and nice hover effects. Keep your own time. Request an allocation. Okay, overall, I'm actually a little disappointed with this because I have received a significantly superior result to this from a GPT model that was supposedly 5.5. Is this a stealth GPT-5.6 result? Some folks were saying this was better than what regular 5.5 on high would have done, and that was June 25th, so a couple weeks ago, and we can see that result right there just... It also made a... Shut it! I'm speaking. Is significantly better than what we just received, so that's why I am a little curious there. But nonetheless, I wanted to showcase that to at least back up what I was saying about this one. And that, again, that was 5.6 Sol on extra high. Interesting. This just came to me. I swear. Make me a low poly game called Street Yeet where... Alright, so for a last test, this is one that I genuinely did just come up with off the top of my head, which I'm a bit proud of. Everything in the block, including, okay, cars, street furniture, pedestrians, pigeons, will be a valid punch target. Alright, escalating mayhem missions rather than turning into a passive sandbox. I would prefer a passive sandbox, but it's already started, so we're just going to let it do what it wants. A fully playable, low-poly browser game with, apparently... pigeons we can punch. Okay, this is sick. That's just a screenshot that I just got catfished by. Okay, this page is slowing down Firefox. That's all right. Maybe that isn't a screenshot. It doesn't matter. Let's just... Why are you... So we have our game and we can't do anything because the page just keeps freezing up. I can't download it. I can't... This has been a very, very frustrating model to test. Well, that's going to conclude our first look and test of GPT-5.6. The Street Yeet game, I've tried it on another computer. I genuinely can't do anything with it because the browser page freezes. And yeah, that pretty much sums up the experience in testing this model. It's very good, I think. The problem is that the new work app and stuff like that, I think releasing them in tandem was an atrocious decision. Truthfully, this was one of the most frustrating. I don't know how much of the video I'm going to cut out of me just getting like extremely enraged at various points. I don't like making videos like that. It is not my normal disposition. I don't normally get like that when testing models. This was just frustrating and taxing and really that like the last result being I tried it. You're going to be like, use a different browser, like clear the cache. I tried it on a completely different machine. Same thing. And we can't actually play it. And that is really going to serve in place of the traditional results overview because this really is the culmination of my experience in testing this model. It might be great. I would need to test it in Cursor to really know. So, all right, that's going to conclude this video. Meta came out with an updated Muse Spark. If I can test that without blowing a gasket, I will definitely do that soon. If not, you know why I'm taking a few days off. So with that, any questions, leave them in the comments, and thank you for watching. And one day Street Yeet will be playable, maybe